The night she realized I wasn't begging, just done. My name is Nathan Hayes, and for years, I lived under the illusion that I was building a life with someone equally invested. I believed in us. I believed in her. She stood by the window that evening, bathed in the golden hue of sunset, scrolling through her phone like it was more real than me. Then, almost casually, she said, "I'm heading out tonight." No explanation. No glance. Just those 5 words delivered with the weight of a feather, like she was commenting on the weather or noting she'd taken out the trash. A year earlier I might have asked where she was going. I might have felt my stomach drop. But not that night. That night I just watched her, closely. Her face wore that confident little smirk, the kind that says, "I've already won." But she didn't realize the game she thought she was winning. I'd left it long ago. You see, once upon a time we were the couple people envied. We hosted lively dinner parties, whispered secrets across crowded rooms, and made promises between mouthfuls of buttery popcorn and late-night black-and-white movies. She had a way with words, gentle, timed perfectly. She could convince you the world was made of soft landings and honest love. But I was the only one building something real. The shift was slow at first. A few skipped dinners. New excuses. A sudden obsession with early morning workouts. The phone that once sat face up now lived in her pocket, guarded by a new passcode. Her laughter at my stories dulled until it disappeared entirely, replaced by that constant thumb flick on a screen lit by someone else's attention. Still I waited. Because love makes fools of us. It numbs the parts of your brain that notice the truth. Until one day, it doesn't. It was a dull, gray Tuesday when reality walked in. I reached into her tote for a charger. Her phone lit up before I even touched it. "Can't wait for tonight." Same hotel. Same room. She was humming in the shower, blissfully unaware. But I didn't feel rage. I didn't shout. I didn't throw the phone against the wall. No, I felt clarity. Sharp and cold. That night, I lay beside her in bed. I could still smell the faint trace of cologne that didn't belong to me. I didn't speak. I started planning. I traced her every move. I gathered copies of receipts, tracked the charges on our joint cards, logged hotel stays, dinner bills, gym check-ins. I knew everything before she suspected anything. His name was Ethan Caldwell, a forgettable mid-level executive. Married. Predictable. Then I found his wife, Julia Caldwell. She didn't cry. She poured us both a drink and said, "Finally." Then she showed me screenshots, timelines, emails, her own archive. We laughed. We plotted. We became co-conspirators in a truth neither of our spouses ever expected us to find. I hired a private investigator. Discreet. Brilliant. Expensive. Worth every cent. Within weeks, I had a portfolio thicker than our marriage license. Photos, recordings, financial records. Legal ammunition. But I didn't just want to expose her. I wanted her out. Our company, the one she paraded as her achievement, was legally mine. I held the patents, the intellectual property, the supplier contracts. While she flirted and posted curated snapshots of our dream life, I restructured everything, quietly. I transferred ownership through trusts, redirected revenues, and locked her out of systems she never bothered to understand. Last Friday, I told her I had a surprise planned. I made reservations at the same rooftop restaurant where we once toasted our first big deal. She wore the red dress, the one that made heads turn. She smiled at me like she had a secret. She didn't know she was the secret. Our table overlooked the glittering skyline. She twirled her wine, legs crossed just so. "What's this about?" she asked coyly. I slid a leather folder across the table. "This," I said. She chuckled, still trying to charm. Then she opened it. Inside were documents. Photos of her and Ethan. Financial records. Evidence of her funneling company funds to cover their getaways. A formal notice of dismissal. A lawsuit from Julia's attorney. A restraining order pending. Her smile vanished like a light switch. Her hand shook as she reached for her wine. This can't be real," she whispered. "It is," I replied. Your accounts are frozen. The board knows. Ethan's under internal review. You've been served. She blinked. Then the final act of desperation. Nathan. I still love you. I stood slowly. Buttoned my jacket. I know, I said without malice. But I don't care. I left her there alone. Now I sit in the apartment we used to share. It's quiet, clean, and entirely mine. The skyline looks different now, sharper somehow. I've taken down our old photos. Replaced them with plans, maps, timelines of what comes next. People say revenge is fiery, born from rage. But that's not true. Real revenge is ice. Doesn't scream. Calculates. Gathers proof. It walks away without flinching. I don't miss her. I miss who I thought she was. But that illusion is gone now. And every time she opens a bottle of wine by herself, every time she tries to rebuild and finds doors closed and names blacklisted, every time she sits across from someone new and sees my shadow in their doubts, she'll remember that night. Not because I yelled, but because I ended it with silence, precision, and one truth she can never escape. I didn't lose. I let her go.